Okay, so welcome. Not to beat around the bush, so that at the end of the day, your expectations are being managed properly from day one. So you don't waste your time, you don't waste my time also. You should understand the academic and financial implications. Now, for the academic, I'll tell you the truth, it's a bit flexible. Money is more important because you can have all the grades in this life. If you can't afford it, it can't work. And in fact, a lot of times, grades for different schools matter as far as you have money. You can always still make it work sometimes, especially if you don't even meet up with all the full papers in WAEC. Maybe you can even do foundation and everything. Money is the cocoa, and that's why I want to explain things to you before we even start. When you now see that this is fine by you, you can now actually submit your documents. Then we can now take it further. You have thought about it. You have said, okay, this is what I can go for. Realistic. Now, countries we deal with are countries that we feel have opportunities with internship, which is experience. Because when you graduate from school again, nobody asks you what grade you graduated from. In most times, they don't really care. It's the experience. So countries that actually can give you experience or give you a chance to stay back and actually use it. Not all those countries that say they don't give you experience and they say you should stay back, and at the end of the day, you cannot work with it. So without further ado, let me explain to you. I'll break it down into 3 different categories. In fact, if not 2 or 3. Now, are the Class A countries. Class A countries are countries like Switzerland, Monaco. These places are places that at the end of the day, when you go in, it is not aiming towards post-study visa or any of those things. Their strength is the connections you get in class from the peers that you come there, because the cream de la creme coming from all over Europe come there. Asia, Europe, America. I mean, I met students, you understand, that are coming from the US, coming from Iran, coming from Jamaica, coming from other parts of Africa, coming from Asia, a lot of places in Asia, coming from Africa, that actually come there. And you know, the wealth of experience that you come together, meeting different people is there. And all these people are come from rich backgrounds, and you know the opportunities that can be exchanged from there. Dignitaries' children come there, people that have been successful in their business, children come there. And for the quality of education that they give, I think it's very affordable. Everything is relative in this life when you come to it. So, Switzerland, Monaco. Switzerland, especially if you are doing hospitality, you are hands-on, like you're working in school, but you're working in the kitchen, you are learning things hands-on, you are knowing how to plan events and everything. These guys are smart. Even year 2 students, I was talking to them, they are very smart, they are up there. This is why a lot of people that have some certain races advance in themselves and invest. So now, there's no how, maybe in the bachelor's program, now you have done 3 internships. That's what, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 1.5. They pay you during this internship. Minimum internship fees are always 2,300 and something in Switzerland. Cash, after tax, this is your money. Then some of them will say, okay, you can actually stay with us, hotel and everything, you can do this. So that opportunity is being gotten. There's no how that, even if you are going for masters, you will get a chance to get working experience as far as you are serious about it, because of the kind of schools we do it. They do business immersion weeks. They have companies come into the school. I, for example, benefited from this kind of thing when I studied in Germany, and I'll explain further to you. Now, these countries, you cannot have less than 50,000 euros per annum for bachelors, 65,000 euros for the whole program, 18 months for masters. Now, for bachelors now, this would include your school fees, insurance, books, that you will do activities, maybe you pay a little extra for that, but food is being covered at least 2 times, depending on the campus. Some campuses are 2 times, some campuses are 3 times, but your accommodation is being covered. If you were going to strip this out and go and study in Switzerland ordinary, you cannot. This is too cheap for that. So they have balanced it out and made it very affordable at 50k euros for this. Now, per annum. Initially to go, you can even show 20, but you now show balance and the rest. But our advice, if you have the money, pay your 50k at once. You know that 1 year is done and you are taking it from there. Now, the second option, and that's the same thing with Monaco, but they don't do accommodation. They'll just say pay school fees, you understand, and show bank statements for the rest. So master's programs are 18 months. You can actually pick maybe something in hospitality, in culinary, in luxury management. All these kind of things have been there and they are there. So now, when you graduate from school, They sometimes you are allowed to stay back 6 months and everything. That's your L permit, depending on the school. But most of the guys that actually go to Switzerland actually come back home and work in a very, very top hospitality industry. Look at the top firms. Look at the top restaurants. These are guys that own it. Do you understand? These are guys that. So, like I was saying, like these are the guys that, you understand, they have opportunities now. They will say this L permit 6 months and everything. You're not allowed to stay in Switzerland. Yes, most of them even come back, or most of them even now work again in a good number of other countries. UAE, Saudi, you understand, Hong Kong, and the pay is crazy too. Or they can even have a chance to go to another EU country because of the experience. Look at that experience. It cannot be compromised. A Swiss experience, it cannot be compromised. So you that are a hustler, you find your way. Is that when you graduate from school, you apply to look for a job around, which some chances are 50-50 when it comes to that. But that experience will carry you to another place that actually you can make a lot of money for yourself. But most guys don't even care about this. But if you want to actually practice, you have that internship. But at the end of the day, you yourself will have a chance to work in another place, or go and do a master's in another country, or do another thing, or apply for a job search visa in somewhere like Germany. There's always a way to make it, but you cannot lose studying in Switzerland, because how many people do you know have a Swiss degree? It is for the cream de la cream, and it is for people that are top. Now, so that this video is not too long, as I explained to you properly, the class B, which is like the 2-1, I say, not 2-1 in grades, but like 2-1 in level of country, is Germany, Netherlands. You need between 30,000 euros and 45,000 euros. Do you understand? Now, sorry, back to Switzerland. That's Switzerland that I said 50k per annum, or 65,000 for masters. You can pay 20k deposit, but if you have the money, at least 50k, pay it at once. You know, done. Then you now just show a little bank statements for that. Do you get me? But for 2-1 countries like Netherlands, Germany just opened up recently now, and a back again, and it's actually, these are one of the most flexible options. You need 30k to 45,000 euros. You can't spend less in total. But to go to Germany, you can spend 20k at least, meaning that you pay 13,000 euros bank statement, then you pay a deposit from your school fees, which is like 9,000 euros out of 18. But if you have your money, the embassy will not ask you any questions again. Like I said, your grades are good, but money is very important. So all this free and all these things that people say, it's a bit of fallacy, because it's not a repeatable process. And when you're looking for a business-related course, regardless of maybe like IT, health, or whatever, and you're trying to switch fields, it's only private schools that can allow you to do this switch. Do you understand? Again, money. So if you don't have money, it's better you don't start the whole process. Now, you need between 30k to what now? 45k. Netherlands, bachelor's, 30k at once. That's for living expense and school fees. Germany, you need blocked accounts of 13k and a deposit of your school fees. Your school fees there is like 18,000 euros. Now, for masters for Netherlands, you need 30k at once for school fees, once, bam. And this was only school fees, not even living expense. Then you now need another 15,000 euros bank statements, which is 45,000 euros. So can you see it's almost even like Switzerland already, if you look at it. Now, but you're allowed to stay back to look for a job. When you find a job, you stay back. These are good places to actually stay back to look for a job. But the only risky thing is that sometimes the internships are not as compulsory or creme de la creme like Switzerland. So, and the visa processes for Switzerland is way faster than any of these two, but they are very good. Switzerland and Netherlands and Germany also. So they are very good countries also to go to. You cannot miss it also. Now, the last option, do you understand? Which is, I don't even deal with third countries, which is 2-2 and third countries, because 2-2 countries like 2-1 countries are even be like France also self, and it's around that same school fees. But third countries are somewhere like Canada and UK. Now, hear me out. If it's partnership we have, we can talk to any school. But look at it. Number one, visa is almost impossible to get. Number two, if you get in, the chances of even getting a remote internship in your certain field is very difficult. They're going to push you to health or something that you don't want, maybe, probably. That's why we call it a third. And at the end of the day, they'll give you 2 years post-study visa. How many people have actually stayed back to work in jobs that are actually aligned with their field? So, will I pick an option that at the end of the day, even though they say post-study visa is 6 months and I will get experience, and that experience can take me to any Schengen country or any other part of the world because they have a massive career department and cream de la cream people are there? Or will I even pick a 2-1 country like Germany or Netherlands that you know that if you don't get a job after school, it's your fault because they have a career department also, and it's less stressful, especially when you learn the language and you make the other place? Or will I pick a country that even says they are teaching in English, they are doing everything in English, which other countries teach in English or that we do, but they are doing everything in English, and at the end of the day, I don't get a job, and I'm hoping, and I do warehouse jobs and I stay to it. The choice is now yours. Me, as of today, if things now change in those 2 countries, I will now do it. But as of today, we're not doing it because of those reasons. Now, this doesn't mean that other people are not doing well there, but what are your chances? So we are dealing with realistic chances and chances that will work. We have nothing against any country, but this is what we feel can work. So, quick recap. Switzerland, you need 50K per annum, including school fees, everything. You need living expense, everything. You pay bam to the school once. Your accommodation is covered, everything is there, because you don't want to be renting outside in Switzerland. Switzerland is not cheap, but connections are crazy. I know the quality of people I meet there every time I go and the students I meet. Or someone like Germany or Netherlands, which is 30,000 euros to 45,000 euros, which Germany is still the most affordable, that you can at least drop 20K before you go. Netherlands, have your money, 30K cash upfront, bachelor's or master's, like I capped. To address the elephant in the room, there are definitely free tuition universities in Germany. But the question is, do you have a very high score in IELTS? Do you have very good grades? And are you ready to be waiting for the timing that is there? These 3 options are things that are very, 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 very big variables to whether you can achieve it or not. The easier way and the smartest way and the way of longevity is the way we take. This is a country I've been in more than 10 years. So I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that the only viable way to get into a public school any day, anytime is through the German pathway. Meaning that you go through the house building on the normal program. You will come to Germany, come and learn German. After learning German, then you can go and study for free as you want. But you will pay 10,000 euros for your language school, 10K to 12K. Then you have the blocked account of 13,000 euros. Some of you will say, I have somebody in Germany, that's if a Verpflichtung. But trust me, Nigerians have messed that process up as usual. They have done 1 or 2 things that at the end of the day, when you use that, just know that you have a lower chance. Have your blocked account, have your money. You have good grades, good for you. They don't care so much because they are doing you a favor. You have to have money to travel. If you want someone to be sending you hopes or dreams, you know where to find the person. But at the end of the day, these are the realistic options that can work for you. I might not have told you what you want to hear, but I've told you what the truth is and what I feel in my best interest and my heart for you is that it can work in that way. Well, those are the cleanest paths to take. Nobody can promise you a visa or go there to obtain it for you. But this is why, if you feel this can work for you, then we can work together. And this is what has made my students who they are, where they are today. Anything you need apart from this, we might not be able to do, but still request based in this framework, and we can now see how it goes. Take it from there. AOC Brochure.